Hello, ladies. If you want to learn how to send sassy texts to attract a gentleman, then you are at the right place. We will go through some of the tips that will help you in your dating journey. A little disclaimer before we start. These tips are from Bruce Bryan's book, Texts So Good We Can't Ignore. I'll be giving you lessons from this book so that you can stay on top of your game. Also, ladies, do not confuse it with sending vulgar messages. We are queens, so we do not do that here. Your texts must reflect that you are a respectable, high quality woman. Keeping your LOLs and haha in check is important because in specific situations you can come across as insecure. By using these, you are feigning semi seriousness because you fear getting disagreed on or rejected. Try to be flirty instead. Keep the ABCs in mind. Always be confident. Let us look at an example. Here, Kevin asks if Amy is still doing mini golf tonight, and she says, "Yeah, my friend and I try to do it twice a month. If you're not busy, maybe you should come with us. Haha." Now, the laughter created an impression that she is joking about her invitation. It is important to reply confidently and handle rejection in a mature way. Amy sounds unsure and insecure here, maybe even needy. You need to portray your sincerity. Let us look at what she could have done instead. She could have said, "Yeah, my friend and I try to do it at least twice a month. If you are not busy, maybe you should come with us," followed by a smiling emoji. Look at what difference it created. This won't leave Kevin confused if Amy was serious or not. The smile kept the conversation light without putting sincerity at stake. If Amy was even more confident, she could have said, "Yeah, my friend and I try to do it at least twice a month. You should come with us. I'm sure you will have a lot of fun," followed by a wink emoji. Amy sounds confident, flirty, and she's sure that Kevin will have a great time. If you are shy, then using laughter might be your second nature. You might not necessarily turn off a guy but because they don't overanalyze, but confidence is sexy and he will surely appreciate it. This was just an example. Do some introspection of how many times you have used the laughter shield to cushion rejection. Tip number 2 is to let him start the conversation. Don't go around initiating conversation. It comes across as chasing a man. The beginning of a relationship is full of uncertainties. You might be tempted to know where you stand. But trust me, when you text him first, you make him the prize. The men who like women initiating the conversation just want an ego boost. Those are not the kind of men we want to associate with. Be busy with your life, otherwise they will think they already have you and will put no effort at all. You are hard to get. Keep this in mind. Tip number 3 is to not overdo it with the emojis. It will make the man think you are childish and insecure. Keep emojis reserved for when you're trying to flirt. Keep the usage of emojis minimum. It is unattractive and it also shows that you are incapable of holding an adult conversation. Tip 4. There is no fixed or reliable rule on how long you should wait to respond to a guy's message. However, no rules can lead to ineffective texting habits. Let us study this from different angles. First point is to treat the guy you are texting like a mere acquaintance. This will make you believe firmer that he does not hold any special place in your heart yet. It is easier to ignore people like your relatives because there is no risk of losing them. It might sound risky to do this with a guy, but it is not, if your overall response is genuine and enthusiastic. Point number 2 is to keep in check your enthusiasm for his attention by being mindful of the changes in your routines and habits. Let us understand this with an example. You never carried your phone to your bathroom. You were never that kind of person. But ever since you got in touch with Mr. Handsome, you cannot resist the temptation to look at your phones, even in the bathroom. Let us not do that. Do not ever change your routine for a man. Part 3 is to be genuine and to resist the desire to send a succession of rapid fire messages or long paragraphs. Carefully listen to what I'm about to say. By being genuine, I meant if you have time to text him back and you're excited to hear from him, respond. If you do not have time to text him back but you're excited to hear from him, do not respond. If you have time but you are not excited to hear from him, do not respond. Also consider if you are still interested in him. If you never have the time and aren't excited to hear from him, why did you even give him your number in the first place? I would suggest never to respond at lightning speed. If you just have to wait 2 to 3 minutes before responding. Now do not send several messages to reply to a one single message. Two is fine, or if you just have to express another thought, switch to a phone call instead. If he sends you short messages and you write long paras, it won't look good. You can also try to mirror his texting habits if you cannot really understand what you should do. That way you keep things natural and effortless. Keep in mind, if the guy responds to your messages a day later, you might be dealing with a player, and if your intuition tells you that he is taking your attention for granted, then graciously tell him you are no longer interested. Point 5 is to handle inappropriate text messages by being firm and gracious. If you feel that a guy is sexting you, then by being gracious and firm, you can display your standards, and do not worry, he won't leave you. If he really was a good guy, then he definitely won't leave you. Men love when a woman can rebuff their advances with charm and class. If you need examples, then you can say the following. It will make you appear charming and straightforward. If by any chance the guy becomes angry by these responses, then he is bad news. Leave him. If he goes silent for days, then delete him from your contact list. Sometimes good guys test women to assess her sexual boundaries and standards. By answering with poise and a bit of sass, you convey the message that you are a high value woman worth pursuing. If he asks for your naked pictures, please do not send him those. You will face huge problems later in your life. Just do not give in, even if he begs. What you can do is send him boundary setting cheeky texts. Say, sorry, I don't do naked pics, but here's something to whet your appetite. Now, if the guy leaves you, then thank heaven for it. You just dodged a bullet. If he becomes aggressive and tries to guilt trip and manipulate you, or if he is simply persistent, block him. He is not the guy you want. Let us look at point 6. If you ask the guy you are interested in a question and he texts you 3 days later without answering or having a face-saving explanation, then you can try to challenge him subtly. Remember, do this only when he was a gentleman and not when he has given you numerous red flags. Move on in that case. Now, for when he texts you 3 days later and maybe he asks you a question, answer that question and add, hey, do I scare you a little? He'll probably ask you why, and then you can say you just kind of disappeared in the middle of the conversation. I promise I won't bite much, followed by a wink emoji. Remember not to overthink and be prepared beforehand. And that was it for today. Thank you for watching. Comment below if I should make a part 2 of this video. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you all soon. Bye!